just not, you know. And I want to say that I lived in snow country for 6 years. For 3 years, I lived in Portland, and for 3 years, I lived in St. Louis. That was 6 strong years of ice and snow, and I got the lesson. I don't belong there. I do not belong. You know, the two extremes, I don't fare well in snow, and I don't fare well in desert, where it's too cold or too hot. And another woman that I'm working with, she said, oh, yeah, I've got something for you. And she sent me a picture of a snow-capped mound of desert sand.
That's funny. That's funny.
I said, okay, wherever that is, I'll be sure not to go there. But I didn't realize that it does get cold in the desert. It gets cold in the desert. I'm no good. You know, both of those environments, when I was a teenager, I lived in Palm Springs, California, for a year, and I arrived in the summer. And I recall walking across the sand and stepping on a lizard that had dried. You see that? You don't forget that. You don't forget that. Yeah.
No.
I'm not the sand person. Unless it's on the beach now. You know, I love the ocean. I love the water. I can deal with that sand.
Yeye, our time is 5:02. Actually, it's 6:02 your time.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
So how many people are we expecting?
Well, I'm expecting an overflow, and presently we have 42 wonderful people here.
Okay. So how do my wonderful people feel about waiting 3 more minutes? Because I want to open with a visualization, and I don't want people to miss it or, you know, come in the middle of it if possible.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
So all that I would say is let us take this 3 minutes to get in whatever position is the most comfortable for you. You know, you can put your feet flat on the floor, lay back, make sure you're stable, because I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and really relax and just listen to my voice. So, you know, for those of you who came with pen and paper, you can put that down right now and just, you know, start to disconnect from whatever has informed your day so far. You know, begin to let yourself relax. It's so difficult sometimes to take that moment to just switch over from our external reality to our internal. And that is best done by sitting in a comfortable place. You know where you are physically. You know that this place is safe. It's really good if this place is quiet. Hopefully this place is soft and warm or cool. It needs to be somewhere that embraces you, that holds you, that supports you. If there are any nagging sensations, any aggravation, any pain, any itch, and let that breath relax the muscles. Let that breath soothe the skin. Let that breath clean the blood.
No. Make you another one.
Let that breath relax your entire body. Perhaps everybody should mute their microphone so that you can hear, but if others come in, the sound won't disturb you. Just let go. With your eyes closed, see yourself sitting where you are. And you are sitting in a circle of light. It is a circle that becomes bigger every time you exhale. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, expand that circle all around you. Take another deep breath and expand that circle. And expand it. And expand it. And feel yourself sitting in the center of this luminous globe of light. Feel secure there. Be comfortable there. Know that you are protected. You are safe. You are calm. And as you look at yourself sitting in the center of this circle of light, I want you to notice that the edges of this circle is an electric blue, a bright electric blue, a thin blue circle on the edge of your circle of light. As you sit there in the center, relaxed and protected, safe. And just beyond the blue circle that encircles your light, everything outside of the blue circle is in a penetrable darkness. That is It is dark. However, you can vaguely make the outline of those things that sit right outside in the dark on the other side of the blue circle that surrounds your bright light, where you sit in the center. And as you look at the things in the outer dark edge, allow yourself to see and feel your regrets, your resentments, your fears, your failures, your self-sabotage, your illusions, your enemies, your fatigue, your doubts, your loneliness, your inertia, the times when you were cheated, the times when you were scared, the times when you were tired, the people who betrayed you, the people who did not support you, the ones who exploited you, those who could not love you, the dangers you've encountered, the ways that you have escaped. As we go around this circle, allow to take shape in the darkness anything that has occurred in your life, any feeling that has impacted your heart, any thought that has bothered your mind, any action that has been detrimental to you, any belief that has limited you, any people who need to go out of your life, and feel them nibbling at the edges in this darkness. Allow yourself to feel them. Remember how it made you feel. Remember what it made you do. But continue to sit in the center of this circle, protected by this blue light. As you take a deep breath and exhale, you will extend the blue circle that protects your circle of light so that it pushes them back. Exhale and push 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 them away. 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 Push them away until they disappear into the darkness. Push them away until they disappear into the darkness and become the dark matter of the universe, where all energy is transformed. Allow them to melt into pure energy, where all things are transformed. Allow them to melt into the dark matter of the universe, where all things are transformed. Take a deep breath and see that you sit in this circle of light protected by that blue light. And seeing that all the obstacles have melted away, have become pure energy to be transformed. I ask you now, each time you inhale, bring the blue circle closer to you, filling you with the light. Bring the blue circle closer to you, filling you with the light. Bring the blue circle closer to you, filling you with the light. And fill yourself with the light until there is only light. Now place the you who was in the center. You have moved out of that circle and you are now sitting on earth, looking up at the sky. And that is where you see a full moon circled in blue light, knowing that this will remove all negativity and transform it in the darkness of the universe. Take a deep breath and let it out slowly. Take another deep breath and let it out slowly. And on the third deep breath, open your eyes. Ekabo, everybody. Welcome. This masterclass is called Making It Real Through the Use of Ritual. And we are very, very blessed to be meeting today at this time because we have a big picture event coming up on January 31st. Now, maybe some of you are aware that 2 weeks ago when we had when we had the new moon in Capricorn, that there was a grouping of planets that made the energy that we were in then very, very, very suitable for beginning things that will take effect in 2 years. I hope that you all were able to grab that energy. But coming up on January 31st, we have more power coming. And it is basically a an eclipse of the super blue moon. And so I want to talk to you about that a little bit. You know, I've made just a little script here to succinctly tell you about it as best I can. And then I'm going to make some ritual recommendations, okay? For those of you who are not aware, what we call a supermoon occurs when the full moon is closest to the earth. This is a time when we perform rituals of completion and release. Always on the full moon, rituals of completion and release, because the full moon marks a time when things have ripened, when we want to heal, when we've come to a culmination. We've been trying to do this, that, and the other. It's been fulfilled. It's time to move on, or we have experienced a certain kind of stagnation that we want to let go of. Sometimes we use the full moon to celebrate the harvest and to invoke fertility, because the land has given us so much. It's given us so much. Yemaya, the goddess of the ocean, and her relationship to Asupa, who is her sister, the moon. Yemaya's energy is strong when the moon is full. And we experience this because the full moon has a pull on the waters of the ocean and the tides, and also the liquid in your body. Please try to remember that even though we appear to be solid, we are mostly water. So under the full moon, especially under the supermoon, Yemaya beckons you to release any negative emotions, release your fears, your resentments, your regrets, okay? It's time to let go, to make room for the new energies. Now, what's important about this is not a time to pretend that you weren't afraid. This is not a time to, have false, what I call false courage. Yemaya is the great mother, and she's the one who understands. She is the mother who never dies. She is constantly washing us clean, okay? So just as the waves of the ocean continue to come in and wear the mountain down, she continually comes to wash away what we do not need, okay? And we have to let go so that we'll be able to invoke growth and pleasure on the new moons, which is always under Oshun's domain, okay? So this particular super moon is going to affect your Ori very deeply. Your consciousness that you came into this life with, the who am I, will come to the surface, and you'll become aware maybe of aspects of yourself that you may have neglected. Also, because this moon is occurring in Leo, which rules the heart, I'm going to advise people that you not only think about how you want your life to change, but allow yourself to really feel how you want your life to change. Work to feel as if it has already occurred, because, you know, the word is emotion. Emotion. In order for things to change, you don't just think. You have to think and feel. You have to think and feel. It is the feeling that fuels the thought, okay? And around this time, you'll be particularly aware of your emotions and your surroundings, because it increases your psychic power. This is something we have to be careful of. Those of us who are very, very sensitive, you know, when the moon is full, you can feel what's going on in the house down the street. You can, those of you who are really, really sensitive, you can hear the trees crying, you know. So you're going to have to really relate to your psychic energy. Now, when we say it's a super blue moon, perhaps you've heard the expression that something happens once in a blue moon. That means it's not commonplace. It doesn't happen that often, you know. A blue moon happens when we have two moons, two full moons in 1 month. The second one is called a blue moon. Okay. And sometimes we really do, I don't know how many of you are as old as me, but there's a song, Blue Moon, you saw me standing alone, you know. And so blue moons are associated with finding love. And this is a particularly true because we have this blue moon is in Leo, which rules the heart, which rules romance, theater, relationships with children, and it is a moon with a lot of sunshine in it. It's reflecting the sun in Aquarius. And Aquarius is that sign of humanitarian action, that sign of really thinking and caring about others, you know. So those of you who are looking for soulmates, you can expect some drama in your life right about now. You might want to call that in. I am reminded that, you know, a very good friend of mine, a gentleman that I co-taught with for 22 years and really, really valued him. He and his wife were an amazing team. And I got word that on January 1st, his wife crossed over. He buried her on the 2nd. And then on the 3rd, he crawled into their bed and died of a heart attack. He didn't take anything. He didn't do anything to himself. He laid down in their bed and he crossed over. This is a clear sign of soulmatehood. They worked together in life and they went out of here together in death. He took care of her and then he joined her. Okay. Now you're going to want to think about, if you're going to do love work under this moon, then you really want to think about what kind of relationship you want to have physically, emotionally, mentally, and especially spiritually, okay? you really want to relate to that in a tantric way. Okay. So the fact that the other thing that's amazing about what's going on January 31st is that it's also a total lunar eclipse. We have a blue supermoon with a total eclipse. And I want you to know that I have set you up with that visualization for ritual that you can perform on January 31st. The first thing I want to tell you, okay, what we call an eclipse happens when the earth passes directly between the sun and the moon, okay? We're spinning around the sun, and it casts a shadow over this large body of light. But hear me very, very clearly, people. Unfortunately, the mythology and the folklore of the Northern Hemisphere has dominated most of the media, telling people that an eclipse is a bad omen. It's a time, the full moon and the eclipse is a time when the werewolf comes out and when all kinds of crazy stuff happens. Let's switch that a little bit. Okay. It is true that the LA Police Department says that there is an increase in violent crimes when the moon is full in Scorpio. But that's because of Scorpio's sexual energy and because a whole bunch of people have come to believe that because the blood is moving more obviously through their veins, that they have to manifest it in violent ways. But I offer you the pre-colonial African perspective on an eclipse, which is that the sun and the moon are making love. Take a minute and take that in. What if, rather than, invoking werewolves and vampires, what if the sun and the moon are dancing in harmony with each other? What if they are making love? What if you take that perspective? A blue supermoon in Leo, I must advocate that the better qualities of Leo, the heart, theater, romance, dealings with children, that you invoke those things, because the hard part of Leo is military might. And I don't think we need to invoke any more of that. So the two things I would like you to do is to check your own time zone, because I think that it's going to be at different times, depending upon whether you're on the East Coast or on the West Coast, or whatever country you are in. So the other thing that you need to do, if you know your astrology chart, okay, find the house that is ruled by Leo and then perform rituals that speak to the energy of that house, okay? If it's your first house, if it's your rising sign, that's your sense of self. If it's your seventh house, that's your intimate partnerships. If it's the 11th house, you got to take a look at what house this moon is going to be sitting in when you do the ritual. But what's amazing about it is that you're not just going to be invoking for yourself, your partner, your family, your community, your country, your hemisphere, your planet, but this, what you do on January 31st, will have impact for 150 years. This is a legacy. This is time to think about what is it that you would like to create? What is it that you would like to set in motion that will survive your lifetime? Think about that for a moment. Feel that. This is a great time to create works of art. This is a great time to plant trees. This is a great time to set things in motion that your children and grandchildren will inherit. Everybody take a deep breath. Because what I'm going to invite you to do on January 31st is to sit down in sacred space and return to this place where we were sitting in the circle of light. And now that all those negatives have been sent through the dark matter of space and have been changed into pure energy, when this eclipse of the supermoon occurs, what I would invite you to do is to envision the soft, warm, loving darkness passing through that circle of light that you were sitting in, and it is bringing to you all the blessings that are now sitting patiently in the darkness of potential, so that as this light sits in the darkness, that darkness will bring with it your success, bring with it your health, bring with it your wealth, bring with it your love. Like a baby coming out of the darkness of the womb, allow that space and that time to deposit in your being, to deposit in your heart, to deposit in your surroundings, to deposit in your world the blessings that are presently hidden from you. Dance in the darkness with that potential so that when it passes and you are sitting again in the circle of light, you can see and feel the good that is coming. Everybody take a deep breath and let it out slowly. Take a deep breath and let it out slowly. Before I talk to you about the recommended rituals, I want to know if anybody has any questions before I go on.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Greetings, Ekushe Adupeyo.
Adupwe, how you doing?
I'm well, Mama, I'm well. I just wanted to capture again the thought that you shared, that when we know what the house that has Leo in it, and we perform the rituals of that house. I happen to have my chart with me, and so as I look at the chart, Leo occurs in the 4th house, and each house has a specific. So yes. I need to find out what is my 4th house and perform the rituals of the 4th house.
That's right. Yeah, the 4th house is foundational. That's the bottom of the chart. That is the place where you are settling. Okay. With that 4th house, you definitely want to bless the place where you are living. If you are, if you have a vision of wanting a different living place, this is the time to ask for that. This is a time for you to establish what is foundational to you. What is it that you feel you have to have in order to be comfortable on earth? 4th house is wonderful. 4th house is wonderful. I'll use myself as an example. I have Neptune in Libra in the 4th house. Now Neptune is the planet of imagination, and Libra is Venus ruled, wanting balance, wanting beauty. For many years, as a child, I had this, I've always had what we would call interesting notions about decorating. And at one point, I recall as a child imagining that I had a shower where 3 walls of it was aquarium with living fish in it, right? Very Neptunian kind of idea. And I would say that to people, and people would say, girl, you out your mind. Where you gonna put the faucets? If you got real fish in there and you turn the hot water on, everybody told me everything negative. It can't possibly be blah, 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 blah. When I was in my 20s, I registered with, I don't know if y'all know Ethan Allen School of Decorating. And I told them, they tested me. And they said after testing me that they could train me in tropicals. I said, look, you ain't got to train me in tropical. I know what I'm doing. I want to create healing environments. And they said, no, there's no such thing. You can't learn that. All right. Now, years later, I learned a thing called feng shui. Feng shui is how you arrange the furniture in your house to have energy moving very freely and in a very, very healing way. That was Neptune in the 4th house telling me, yeah, the problem is you were talking to Western people. If you had been talking to Asians, they would have told you, yes, what you want is feng shui. And recently, I've thumbed through some magazines, and there are now showers where 2 walls of it is aquarium with live fish in it. But those are in the homes of multimillionaires, you see. So I had a lot of vision about how to make a house beautiful, because that's what's sitting in my 4th house. You see, you look at what house this moon is passing through, what are the qualities of that house, and you tailor your invocation to bring awaken the energy in that house. You're going to have a good time with that fourth house. Make it pretty, baby.
Yeye, there are 3 questions at this time, 3 additional questions. The next person is Chi.
Hey, Yeye, how are you doing?
I'm good, baby. How are you?
Doing fine.
Right on.
My question was, because I know you said the blue moon will be in Leo, which I know is one of the signs in love and things like that. And I want to know, I know you probably touch on this later on, but as far as like love rituals to do, would it be appropriate to do it with your spouse and children, include them in it, or is it something more so like self-love?
No, you're going to start with self-love. You always start with self-love, but it vibrates out. This is absolutely the time to do it with your partner, with your children. You know, under ideal situations, I would like to see this a ritual done at a community center where parents and children and lovers, you know, and creative people are all together, because like I said, it's going to vibrate out. It will vibrate out from you. The way you drop a pebble in the water and the circles vibrate out, that, you know, what you're doing here is love me, love my other, love my children, love my extended family, love my community, love my neighborhood, love my region, love my planet. Love vibrates out for the next 150 years. This is really big. This is really, really big. And the thing about it is it is a courageous love energy where we dare to dream, we dare to create, we dare to imagine and manifest way, way into the future. You know, it's a difficult thing, and maybe this is something I need to tell you. I can remember in the early 90s, I went for divination around a project that I was involved in. And the Babalawo told me, well, you know, yeah, you're on the right track, but the thing that you're trying to do won't really manifest until 2050. And I said, what? He said, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't start it, but know that you won't live to see it. Not in this incarnation. Okay. And I can tell you all that what I was trying to do was to create a women's institution that would give master's degrees in spirituality, ecology, and justice. Now, that project, quote unquote, failed miserably as a first endeavor. But the idea that such a thing should exist goes on and on and on, and I see it manifesting in small ways, you know, manifest and falter, take another shape, manifest and falter, take another shape, manifest and falter. So you have to see the big picture, and you have to know that the energy that you're sending out, what seems like a radical idea or strange feeling now may be the norm 150 years from now, and you will have contributed to it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. This thing is big, y'all.
Yeye, Luna B is next.
Bendición, Ia.
Al Santo Mia.
And Dolores Rashford is here, and she sends her love. And so Alexandra Kovacs, she was
okay. All right. So the old girls are there, huh?
Yes, and Ibaye Tunun to Jeremy Taylor.
Shit.
We are wondering, we have a lot of Leos up in this house, and we have a crown to Yemaya, and Yemaya is also part of all the Odus for the year. And so with the super moon coming up, I'm wondering if you can speak on that and what you have to say about, those particularities.
Well, it's really wonderful because the Olokun priestess called me the other day and she said, "Oh, show me why." I want you to know that Yemaya is talking, and she said that you are on assignment, so deal with it, right? I have a wonderful relationship with Yemaya, and Yemaya is an amazing Orisha. If your house is really, can y'all get to the ocean?
Oh yeah, we live 5 minutes from the ocean.
Oh yeah. Well, that if you can do ritual down there up under her light, and even if you can't, I would say go down there, get some ocean water, get some sand, pick up some driftwood or shells or whatever, and adorn her. She's sitting adorned in my living room right now, just drenched in pearls. And when after you do your invocations, y'all need to be singing. Y'all need to be singing and swaying and bringing in the waves, and washing away what you don't need.
Well, wow. We done have 2 tsunami warnings and 3 tidal surges up and down the Oregon, Washington coast. So she's coming in big. Coming in big.
Now, I will say that Yemaya is the one Orisha that I can cry to. I can tell you about asking her if humans have done things to enrage her, such as they have, with the plastic in the ocean, with the sonar underneath, with throwing trash and all of that kind of stuff. You can go and cry to her on behalf of your community and the human race. Ask her to forgive us. There have been times when I have taken the lid off of my Yemaya pot, put my face in it, and cried so that I gave her my salty tears. Here's my salt water, Mama, to mix with your salt water. Please spare us. This is when you talk to her like a humble child. This is when, you beg her to turn the wave somewhere else, to remember that there are those of us who love you living here. See these children of yours? Don't wash us away. Spare us. And it becomes very, very important that even though you can cry to her, do not go to her hopelessly depressed. Go to her saying, Mama, we need this cleaned away. Mama, these are the blessings that we want. Mama, this is what we are willing to do. Because, in my experience, it ain't nothing for her to take you back into her womb and start all over again. You see what I'm saying? You want to talk to her like an optimistic child who is asking for her protection, her healing, and her blessing. And because this is 150-year impact, I would also, because I always do, I would make the pledge for her to remember that we are the ones who come down and clean the trash off of the shore, you know. We are the ones who don't overfish. We are the ones, spare us, and if you can, forgive the offenders, but still their hand, you know, still their hand. Yeah, this is, yeah, Yemaya is serious stuff. She's definitely,
Thank you.
she's to be placated, honey. She is to be placated.
Thank you so much. Love and light to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want you to be aware you have, at this point, 5 questions in the queue.
Wow, okay.
Should we continue?
Yeah.
Delta is next.
Hello, Yeye. How are you?
I'm good, baby. How are you?
We're fine. We love you, Yeye.
Thank you. I love you too. I'm so grateful.
Yes, ma'am. I'm from Louisiana, and just thank you for all the work you've done to make our spiritual legacy more accessible to us. I have a quick question. Do you use the 12-sign zodiac or the 13-sign zodiac?
I use the 12 because there's more information. At one time I had my astrology 14 chart done, and I ended up in the Temple of Vesta. So I tend to use the 12 chart. Where does that put your Leo?
I will have to check, yeah.
Okay. The other thing, anytime a person does not have their chart, you can arbitrarily assume sunrise because that is the beginning of the day that you were born. But you also can do what's called rectifying, by checking in with your mama. What time of day did I come out? How long were you in labor? Do you remember whether it was day or night? You can also check in with your body, because different, somebody who's got Pisces rising is going to have a lot of issues with their feet, whereas somebody with Gemini rising will probably have issues with their hands. The other thing, if you really don't know your chart, then what you would do is visualize this moon moving around the circle, making 12 stops, so that some of this energy is deposited everywhere. It's like people say, well, which Orisha granted you that? Who are you saying thanks to? I said, let me tell you a little trick that Luisah Teish does. I open a leg bar and do all of that. I know that the primary deity that I'm talking to right now is Yemaya. And I talk to Yemaya and I say, oh, Batala, can you help out? Oh, yeah, can you help out? Shango, you willing to work with her on this for me? You see what I'm saying? So that when it comes through, I got everybody working for me. I know that this is under Yemaya's jurisdiction, but just in case she needs any assistance, I got everybody on yellow alert. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. I got everybody on yellow alert.
I love that. Yeah. I'm taking notes, of course.
Yeah, it's interesting because again, not too long ago, I drew an Odu for myself, right? And Osa came up and I said, oh Lord, let me go get some quail eggs for Oya, right? And I got them and they were just sitting in the can here. And I kept getting ready to open it. I kept getting ready to give it to her. And something kept, just stunting me. And then I got a phone call from the Olokun priestess. Now, we are so tuned in. She called me and she said, oh, show me what you doing? What are you doing? I said, I'm about to give a bowl to Oya. Well, what are you giving? I said, the quail. She said, oh, but this is the part you forgot. And she told me what the rest of the bowl was. You see what I mean about having people psychically on yellow alert? Olokun was psychically on yellow alert. So the information that I needed came to me.
Next we have Rosanna.
How you doing, Oribega? Can she hear me?
There I am. Can you hear me now?
I hear you now, baby. How you doing, Iya?
Oh, running through the snow up here in Minnesota.
Ooh.
We had that bad storm.
Yeah, now I got your letter about that conference I'm coming to, but it will not be snowing when I get there.
No, yeah, it will be really different if it happens in that time of the year.
Very good. That's the only reason you gonna see me, because it ain't gonna be snowing.
And we sure did get hit with it too. So yeah. Anyway. So I had put my question up above because I didn't know how many people were in front of me, but this moon is going to hit my 8th house Leo, which is conjunct my natal Uranus. But it's also square, hold on, it's also square my 11th house Scorpio moon, Venus, Neptune, and North Node.
Okay.
I know. That's a little
yeah. Well, you could be suddenly rich,
That's fine with me.
You could be suddenly rich. I would invoke for honest partnerships, though. In that wealth, yeah. You got to with that Venus. I mean, you really play the lottery, girl. Work some juju and hit that Powerball. But everybody don't need to know you got that money.
They wouldn't. I have a plan for that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, really. That 8th house, that's nice. That's nice. It's a strong.
It's also trying my my 1st house stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, because I got 1st house Sag, 4th Sag 3 times.
Nice.
Sun, rising, Saturn, Mercury 4. It's all in Sag. 1st house.
So what are you writing?
Well, I studied. Can music go in with that too?
Yes. Creativity. Yes.
My band is taking off crazy time, so who knows?
Okay.
We're getting a lot of lately, so but I am writing too.
See, you could produce something that children are listening to 150 years from now. Remember true. Legacy. Remember legacy, baby.
All right. That sounds good to me. I have been published 1 time, so I figure it's about time to start again.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I belong to this writers community, this online community, and they just gave us a 7-day challenge where we have to write 1,000 words every day.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We do that at work, though. That's not the same.
No. No, it has to be creative. It has to be creative stuff. And let me tell you what has worked, Yeye.
Yeah.
I set my kitchen timer for 1 hour. I put my hands on the keyboard and I type whatever comes in my head for 1 hour, nonstop.
Okay.
I don't critique it, none of that. Then I stop. I go away for 15 minutes. I come back and then I clean it up a little bit. You see, the good thing about it is all we have to do is report how many words we wrote. We don't have to explain what it was. You know, we don't have to choose a genre. The idea here is neuroscience. It's to get you to understand that you can be prolific. You see, that's all.
Okay. Sounds
I got you, babe. I got you.
Oh my goodness!
I got you. I got you. I got you.
All righty then. Well, thanks for the comment. That was kind of a rough one, a hard one. I didn't know where to go with that one. So
it's all right. See, again, in the visualization, one of the things that we have to push into the dark to be transformed is the I'm not good enough, I don't know enough, I have failed in the past. All of that has to be melted down and brought in as fresh energy. I really stumbled upon something the other day, and it came back with, oh, well, you're not worthy. And I said, wait a minute, hold up. Where did that come from? That's them loops, them old tapes where somebody, some teacher, some parent, some stranger said some shit. You know how the old dudes say what go in the ear goes in the head, and it'll be sitting there in your head. You get ready to do something and it pops up, see? But this moon is really good for cleaning your ori. Let go in there and pull that stuff out. Take a look at it and melt it. Send it into darkness to be transformed. Right. There's no failure here. This is a moon of exploration.
Ashe.
This is a moon of exploration.
I will do. I will be prepared.
Okay.
Thank you, Yeye.
You're welcome, baby.
Yeye, at this point, we have you have been sharing, teaching, offering wisdom for an hour. There are still 2 questions.
Okay, let me have those 2, and then I just want to make some ritual recommendations.
Yes, ma'am. The next person is Naomi.
Hi, Yeye.
Hi, baby.
Hi. I'll try to make it quick. One is just a minor one, and that's would a Temescal sweat lodge be a good thing to do on this full moon?
I think, honey, a sweat lodge is always a good thing.
Okay.
Yes.
I like the idea of
especially for the cleaning out, especially for the purification, section of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when you, the thing I wanted clarification on is you had shared that we're going to go back into a meditation and invite that darkness that's now transformed into potential and blessing into our light space where so I just wanted to get clear on that.
Yes. And see, here's where the trick is. When you invite the circle of dark to come and join with your circle of light, it is not obscuring your light. It is dancing in balance. You've seen the yin yang symbol?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's happening here. Okay. We're going to get rid of the Western idea that this is doom and gloom and werewolves and that kind of stuff. and we're going to tune into the African idea that this is a time when these two planets are making love. These two planets are dancing together. So all of that negative stuff that you pushed into the darkness, okay, has turned into pure energy. And what it is holding is the good that is not yet seen. So when it comes to, when that dark circle comes to you, before you had a blue circle that kept darkness out. You pushed it away, you melted it down. Now you're going to let that dark circle in so that it can deposit energy for the new. All the good that is going to come to you later on tonight, tomorrow, next month. Right now, it's sitting in the unknown dark. You're going to bring it into the light.
Great. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. That's why I call it the soft, warm darkness.
Shay.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we have Brandon.
Uh-huh.
Hello, can you hear me?
I hear you. How you doing?
Hello, Miss Teish. I'm so excited and honored to actually meet you virtually through this.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm known as Leo Brown on Facebook. We correspond sometimes.
Ah, okay, Leo.
Yes.
All right, Leo.
Yeah, and my question is, I'm trying to make it quick. My question is, I'm a Leo. I'm actually a double Leo. I'm a Leo with I'm a Leo with a Capricorn moon.
Okay.
So what I wanted to know is, with this energy, because you were talking about working with the Yeye. So what I wanted to know is the energy the same for people who are children of Oshun? Because Oshun and I are like very united right now.
Mm-hmm. You know, I am a child of Oshun. Mm-hmm. And Oshun and Yeye are great companions. Mm-hmm. All rivers flow into the ocean. All rivers flow to the ocean. And, you know, the marine biologists have discovered what we've always known, which is that there are streams of sweet water moving through the ocean that do not become salt. Mm-hmm. So the two of them dance together all the time, you see. And one of the things to really keep in mind is that just as we release these negatives and bring them, you know, at the full moon, mm-hmm. It will be Oshun's energy on the new moon that ignites them to start unfolding. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So again, you put the two of them together and you've got what I call overflow. You've got overflow. So yeah, it's, and as a Leo with Leo rising, yes, you definitely want to be doing something creative. What do you like to do?
I like to sing. Mm-hmm. I'm actually a psychic medium. That's what I do for a living.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you on your gig?
Yeah, and I'm actually moving to a new city. I'm moving to the Bayou City. I'm moving to Houston. In the spring. So.
Okay. So you're gonna be right on the waters, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the water loves us. The water loves us, and the water is very responsive because we are mostly water. Mm-hmm. We are mostly water. So yeah, I think that when you sit in meditation, it'll be what you need to be doing will be very clear to you.
Okay.
Okay, everybody take a deep breath. Because I want to I want to start with where you are, because you have participated in this visualization. You know, my thing is, wherever your altar is, whatever it is, whether you are outside under the light of the moon, or if you are on your balcony where you can see the light of the moon, or if you have the window open so that the light of the moon can shine into your room, and even if that is not available to you, then I would say get a globe, or take a clear bowl and put some crystals in it, or some marbles and some light. The idea is that you want to be able to have something in front of you that represents the moon and the ocean. You want something on your altar that is the fire of Leo. You want something on your altar. I think those of you who can get a rose quartz heart, that would be really, really nice. Some pieces of silver, some seashells, you know. And what you are going to do is return to that ball of light that we were sitting in. And I want you to name those blessings that you want to come to you. And just as we extended that circle when we exhaled, this time, when the dark globe crosses over, I want you to inhale the blessing. So I inhale health, and see health drawing into you. I inhale prosperity, and continue to do that, and continue to do that, and continue to do that until you feel yourself full. And then let the dark globe move out of the way. Now what you're going to see is the sparkling moon. Now you are seeing the bright light of that moon, with you sitting in the center of it, possessing all that you have received. You see, it's sitting in potential in you. You now have 2 weeks to think clearly about the implementation of these things. If you've asked for good health, you've got 2 weeks to think about and feel about what your health routine is going to be. If you're thinking about increasing your creativity, you've got 2 weeks to plan. You've got 2 weeks, because on the next new moon, you're going to talk to Oshun about making it real, about it becoming physically manifest, physically manifest, physically manifest. Now, those of you who decide to take the class that I'm offering, I want to tell you that there'll be 2 practices that we will definitely always do, okay? One is a burden burning. That is, I always have my students to get a basket that has a lid on it. And near this basket, there's some pieces of paper, some squares of paper. Preferably, you've cut up old paper, brown paper bags, or you've recycled those envelopes that all those bills came in, and that kind of stuff. You know, this is not fancy paper. The worse the paper is, the better off you are, okay? So what's gonna happen with this basket? You came in from work today and the boss gave you hell. You write down your anger. You write down your burden. You write down whatever it is that's getting in your nerve. You throw it in the basket and put the lid on it. You do this every day that something aggravates you, every day that there's a regret, every day that there's a resentment, any of that. You write it down immediately, throw it in the basket, and do not let it weigh you down. When the moon comes full, you take that outside or somewhere where you'll be able to release the smoke. You set it on fire and you let the smoke rise. There is a chant that I will be teaching in the class that comes from an East African practice where you give over all your burdens to the moon. She takes on your sad face and you take on her luminous face. So you have your face lifted to the moon and you are releasing the frowns, the scowls, all of that is going up there along with the smoke. And you continue to let moonlight shine on your face until with your eyes closed, you can see yourself as luminous as that full moon. And when you do this regularly, what you will find is that as the full moon wanes, so does that negative energy. This is what is really magical about this. Other people's behavior toward you changes. External conditions change. You experience a release. It stops hurting, that pain in your neck stops. That aggravation, that bitter taste in your mouth goes away. But people around you and circumstances around you also change. We have to remember that everybody on the planet has water running through them. This is a water planet and everybody's affected by the moon. If we can keep in mind that it's all about moving energy, you want to become better and better at moving energy. Now, once you've done the burden burning, once we learn the burden burning, I will be teaching you about different kinds of baths to do, to remove energy out of your aura. Get those calcifications and those knots out. Undo those voices that told you you ain't enough, you ain't worthy, you don't know what you're doing yet, what the hell ever. We're going to wash it right on out, right? And then we do empowerment on the new moon. I'm going to take a minute and brag because among the Iyanifas, we study the journey of the human from Ileorun, from heaven to earth. And I dare say that nothing really wonderful happens for humans until you get to Oshun. Now, I know some other Orishas children gonna take issue with that, but I'm telling you, it don't get good till you get to Oshun. So now, when we learn the new moon rituals, those are the rituals of attraction. Those are the pleasure rituals. Those are the rituals where you are going to move water. One of the ones that I use all the time that's in jambalaya. If you have jambalaya and you go in the back and look in the index for the money pouring ritual, it says money pouring, but what it is affluence. Affluence means to move energy like water. And so that ritual calls to you all kinds of things that you want. a person really wants to establish a practice of regularly releasing the negative and regularly setting the power of attraction in motion. We are blessed because the truth of the matter is that I will be talking about the universal principles, the principles that are at work for all creatures at all times. And then, as much as possible, I will show you that we make cultural notations on these universal principles. You will be able to see how this principle operates in Yoruba, how it operates in Kemetic, how it operates in, pagan, how it operates, and how the symbols and the methods that you use to manifest it will be your choice. But I will especially share the things that I've learned from studying so many traditions. I want to tell y'all something funny, okay? When I was working on jambalaya, I had been gifted a month retreat at a writer's colony in Bolinas. It was amazing because I could just lay up on the ocean. I had a beautiful cabin. I made friends with the gardener, so my food was always fresh and so on and so forth. But when I walked into my cabin, the ceiling was covered with cocoons. There must have been 3,000 or 4,000 little cocoons attached to my ceiling. I said, my God, what is this? Make a long story short, somebody in the area had decided that he didn't like the wasp hanging out at his house, and he sprayed that wasp nest with something poison. Those wasps went and made contact with other wasps and spread the poison. And so there was a massive genocide of the wasp in that area. That led to an epidemic of the oak leaf caterpillar because the wasp ate the caterpillars. He killed off the wasp, so the oak leaf caterpillars turned into, they went through their metamorphosis and they were devastating the oak trees in Bolinas. Look at that. Created an imbalance that was out of this world. And I walked into that and said, we need to ask nature to forgive this foolishness. The trees it was awful. The oak trees they were just devastated. So I gathered a group of people up and we went out onto the yard, and one of the things you do in ritual is you acknowledge the oldest and the youngest in community ritual. And so the oldest was an old European woman with white hair, and I immediately put her in the Obatala place, and I said to her, I said, so we're doing a full moon because I'm asking the oak leaf caterpillars to go away. I'm asking them to stop eating. And I said to her, when it's time to invoke the full moon, that's your job. And she said, no, the moon never listens to me. And she started whining. I said, well, I don't care. You're the eldest here. That's your job. you got to invoke the full moon. And she said, okay, okay. And we are standing outside. We've got this amazing circle going. We got a fire in the center. I done grounded and centered everybody. We've invoked the directions. We've acknowledged the ancestors. We've set our intention. And the moon was beautiful. I said, now, you have to invoke the moon. That woman looked up. She started talking. A cloud came over the moon, a dark cloud came over the moon, and it stayed there until she shut up. And she looked at me and she said, I told you, the moon never listens to me. You know? So you have to learn to take note of what happens when you do ritual, what goes on, who shows up, what kind of things are happening. Now, that's her place. And one of the things that I had to deal with is anytime I did ritual with her, the moon was going to ignore her. But that was her place because she was the elder, you see. So you make an adjustment. The other thing that I wanted to share with you, and those of you who know Oshun will really appreciate this. I have the habit, like some people, of trying to bribe Oshun. And so, I'm here in Atlanta at my sister's house. At my daughter's house, and I feel landlocked because I'm accustomed to being near the ocean and having big water around me. And I went to my altars and I laid some gifts down in front of Oshun. I said, oh, Oshun, most generous mother, she who's always giving, blah, blah, blah. And I just applauded her and regard your child, or show me why you know me. I am your obedient servant, blah, blah, blah. And I said, just tell me what the plan is, and I will fulfill the plan. Now, in my mind, I'm hoping she's going to tell me how long I'm going to be here and when I'm going to get out of here and what I'm supposed to do while I'm here. And after doing my elaborate invocation, I got quiet, and what I heard was this: do what I tell you to do today, and then get up and do what I tell you to do tomorrow. That's the plan. That's the plan. So that's what I do. And I really do receive guidance every morning. You just have to take a look at, how the energy is working with you. I want everybody to take a deep breath. I want to thank you for sharing this time with me today. And I hope that you all will take the Making It Real class because, we have some serious planetary energies that we have to move. I don't know how many of you have seen it, but if you go on YouTube and put in my name and look for archetype of the divine feminine, archetype of Oshun, the divine feminine, you will see a YouTube video that I made explaining Oshe Otura and what happened to the earth when Oshun was disrespected and how that applies now. That clip is from a film that I am a part of that is being made at Lucas Valley Studios at at George Lucas's studios in Lucas Valley, California. It's called Changing of the Gods. It's a very important film. It should be out this year. The other thing I want to advise those of you who subscribe to STARZ, STARZ, or some other way, there is a series called The American Gods by Neil Gaiman. And even if you don't subscribe to STARZ, if you go to YouTube and just put in The American Gods, various episodes of it are explained. This is a very, very profound piece of magical realism, where what he is showing is the gods of the different cultures that came to America and that make up America. Those are the old gods. And they are competing with the new gods for the soul of a black man named Shadow Moon. So you might want to check that out too. You might want to check that out too.
Yeye.
Mm-hmm.
The time is 7:30. At this time, can we share the screen so you can talk through your course and introduce it?
Yes.
Also, Yeye, I have shared, I want everyone to know that when you email Yeye, the email address is right now in the chat, Yeye Luisah Teish at gmail.com. Again, that's Yeye Luisah Teish at gmail.com. Because you are here live for her masterclass, we know that your time is important and we appreciate your being here. There's a very special coupon code for you because you are here tonight. So that's your next step if you intend to enroll. And of course, there is room for you. We hope that you will.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
So you're going to split the screen?
Yes, ma'am. I'm doing that right now.
Okay.
So, Yeye, it should be up.
I see.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So we are going to start on February 4th, and we're going through to March. Okay. And I want you to March 25th. It's going to be from 3 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. Now those are all Saturdays, so you should be able to. Ooh,
it's Sundays, Yeye.
It's Sundays. Ooh, okay. Okay, see, I got that other class on my mind. It's Sundays.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm teaching on the weekends. I have a Saturday class that people are already enrolled in, and this one is on Sundays. And so, you know, we are going to go over the basics. We're going to go over the basics. The first thing is to have clarity of purpose. As I said before, we're going to look at the universal principles. You know, we're going to zoom in on particular aspects of creating ritual. You are going to be assessing your work at each time, at each juncture, because the course is making it real. I want you to be able to see, feel, and know that the work that you are doing is manifesting. So I'm going to be asking people to keep a libreta, to keep notes on what we're doing. We're going to look at how we create sacred space, how we build altars, how divination systems work. How do we receive spiritual guidance? Okay. We are going to take a look at the 4 kinds of rituals. Okay. And so that we understand which ones we're doing when, which ones are popular in our culture. Yes. And we are going to take a look, scroll up to week 4, baby, so that they can see. Okay. Building the shrines, tapping into your intuition. Everybody here has what we call ashe. We'll talk about the concept of ashe and help you to identify your ashe and how to access it. Week 5, okay, sympathy and contagion. That this talks about how magic works, so that we will clarify your thinking. You'll be careful. You know that saying, be careful what you ask for? You know how your grandma used to tell you, watch your mouth? We really gonna watch our mouth. Okay? Create prayers, invocations, visualizations. I want to tell you all that my daughter and I are working on a number of things. One of them is to edit and compile a set of MP3s of my guided visualizations. So hopefully those will be available soon. It's important that you learn how to create your own prayers, right? And all of this has to be fun. It has to be beautiful. It has to be healing. It has to be magical. So we'll talk some about stones and herbs and dressing candles and all of those things that make the ritual both powerful, both powerful and beautiful. All right. This is always important to me. You know, after 35 years of teaching in university, one of the things that I've learned is that it is important that we take a look at what we have learned. Did we really learn it? You know, unfortunately, Western education has been all about regurgitation, you know, the names, dates, places, syndrome, where you just prove to the professor that you were listening and then you repeat some bullshit that they said. I don't do that. This is about, have you been able to integrate the information into your life? Are you able to use it? And then what is it that you really want to learn next? What do you need for your life? Now I want to tell y'all, this is important work. This is important work. As we are sitting here talking about manifesting goodness for our world for the next 150 years, please be aware that there are others sitting around their table trying to figure out how to take power from us. We have to use what we have very, very effectively to stave that off so that we can manifest. It's what one of the brothers I talked to uses the phrase that this is energetic tithing to your destiny. By doing this work, you are tithing to your destiny and that of your descendants. So I hope that I will see you all in class. I think my daughter said she was going to cook up this big fillet of salmon that I bought. She better be finished, honey, because I'm starving. I hope that you all I hope that you all have gotten some value out of this time, and I am looking forward to seeing you in class February 4th. Leah?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I go eat?
Let me just reiterate to everyone our appreciation for you, for being here. Yeye, you are phenomenal. We are so grateful for you. And our homework is clear. I mean, really, we always are manifesting with our thoughts, words, and actions. But, you know, the trajectory of 3 generations into the future, like, what a powerful moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you think about it, you know, what you're sitting in right now is what you've inherited.
Ashe.
Okay. So, you know, we have the power.
Yes. So to address a few questions that people are placing in the chat, the replay will be shared via an email that you'll receive within 24 hours. And so the replay will be available for a limited time. During that time, also early bird enrollment in the Elements of Ritual is available until the end of January. So if you are intending to enroll, or even if you're sitting on the fence, please send me an email tonight so that you can receive the coupon code. I must receive your email tonight so that you would be eligible to receive the coupon code. That's how I know that you're here right now, is I get the email and the time and the date. So that's Yeye Luisah Teish at gmail.com, and I will send that to you.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. So those are my points, Yeye.
Okay. All right. So I hope that everybody is going to have a good night. Those of you who have favor with Yeye can do me a favor. Talk to her, tell her I know I'm on assignment, tell her I know, but also tell her I appreciate it if she would go ahead and give me that thing I've been praying for. Okay?
Ashe.
Okay, I'm going to go get some food, because if I don't, I'm going to turn an ogre right in.
Okay, if the lines are unmuted, you all can say good evening.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Yeye. Good night.
Good night,
Thank you
everybody.
so much.
Good night.
Good night.
Try to behave yourself.
Oh, okay. And I got me some little salmon sushi. And then I think I'm hungry.
That's absolutely amazing.
Now that I think about it, I think I'm hungry.
Thanks, Queen, for taking care of all the families.
Shut up.
Thank you, Queen, for setting this up.
You're welcome. Good night.
Good night.
What did I say?